2 races to go, 11 points in the title race between our top 2 teams, and the TRT Breakout League, sponsored by Rogue Energy, is set to go down to the wire as we head to one of the most iconic racetracks in all of racing. The 7-kilometre Colossus of Spa-Francorchamps welcomes us for round number 4, and while XL may lead the way on podiums and points finishes, it's IFR with their 2 wins and the championship lead that have the crucial advantage. Can XL turn it around? Can VER build on their first podium last time in Bahrain? And can Vapor and TRT finally put a positive spin on what has been a miserable event for those 2 teams so far over the course of the first 3 weeks? Let's find out, shall we? So, Spa, an amazing racetrack. Eau Rouge straight after turn 1. And of course the long Kevel straight, the 2 left-handers of Pouan as well. There's not really a part of this circuit where you get a break apart from that really long Kevel straight. The run between turn 1 and Les Combes at the end of that second DRS straight of the circuit is actually one of the longest flat-out sections in the Formula 1 calendar. It's a huge stretch, and well, certainly today, a good run on the exit of La Source at turn 1. Then this straight here, down the DRS straight in towards Les Combes, is going to be a great opportunity for some of our drivers to get some overtaking done. And that is something that TRT and Vapor need to get on with, really. Over the course of this evening, they'll be hoping to put themselves in a good position over the next 18 minutes of qualifying to not really have to put themselves in a position to need to do much overtaking, but well, we've seen so far IFR and XL have been pretty much unstoppable so far. They've had an amazing run of it, and it was actually XL who initially took the lead in the championship after the last round in Bahrain before some controversy reigned, and XL Neo, who won the race, was penalised for an incident earlier on in the Grand Prix, which allowed IFR to take the victory. But it was VER's first podium of the season last time out. It was also their 9th points finish, which puts them 2 points finishes ahead of Vapor. TRT, I don't think they need telling again. They've only got 3 points finishes over the course of this event so far with all of their drivers. They have Bando Biz, Key, James and Cliffy racing for them. James racing, oh my god. Yep, he is. We'll see how he can do. Once again, a massive shout out. I said this in round number 3 in Bahrain, but massive shout out to TRTJ for putting this event together. The owner of the TRT Esports team, and putting together this 5-week event. So props to him, and hopefully for him, a good evening tonight in terms of a good result for TRT. As we watch VER Aqua towards Eau Rouge, that flat out left, right, left, and then up through. Well, so it's the left, right, and then it's Radion. Actually, I think that meme's dead anyway, to be fair. Mies, hello. Too old to say yo. Hi Mies. He's a lot younger than me anyway, so he can say it. Down towards Rivage then comes VER Aqua and his teammate in front of him. One of the other VER drivers just getting out of the way, so clearly having to back out of his lap. So through the no-name corner goes Aqua as he makes his way now down towards Pouan. Shift it down to 7th gear, then flat out through the next part, down the hill in towards the Fania chicane. This quick right-left as Key has retired from the session already for TRT. There he is. He's put his car in the barrier, and as if it couldn't get any worse in this event for TRT. Here, who's just come into this event here, has already binned his car in the barrier, and it doesn't look as though he's going to have a massive chance of scoring points with how competitive this grid always is. Aqua just getting a slipstream off one of his teammates here. This could be pretty dangerous if it was the bus stop chicane, but he lets him go as they exit Blanchimard. And now in towards the bus stop he comes, and how's the exit? It's a good one, nice and smooth. Opens up the DRS. This will be the first out of the decision for to 141.7 from VER Aqua to open the account for the session so far, as IFR Jojo beats that with 141.3, and XL Jacob goes into P2, closely followed by Zui Dema, who sets a 141.7, just under 0.4 of a second behind Cliff. He's done a 142.0 on the medium tyres though, which could put him at an advantage for the Grand Prix, provided he doesn't lose too many positions. M. Shaw goes fastest for XL. Right the way up there, going into the final lap of the race in Bahrain before being overtaken by his teammate Neo, only for Neo to of course pick up that penalty under steward's review after the Grand Prix. And XL having the race fixed to IFR. For XL, they really performed well in Bahrain and throughout the Grand Prix, the entirety of the evening, they really good. Qualifying and also in the early parts of the Grand Prix, but unfortunately for them it just didn't quite work out. Right, here's JT for Vapor making his debut in the event. Another one in the Formula PlayStation League, former champion in the FPSL, and he's got 2 wins, 5 podiums in his last 11 races. As in towards the line, and it is P2, 141.0, so JT already making a statement for the Vapor team and putting himself right up into contention potentially for pole position. VER Ismail is, well, VER do this pretty well actually, done this pretty well in the last couple of weeks, just getting a nice little slipstream off his teammate. I can say the word slipstream without getting too tongue-tied. In towards the bus stop chicane he comes, gets it slowed down into second gear, bit of a lock-up into the first part, but that doesn't cost him too much. So now he exits the second part of the bus stop and up towards the line for him to go P13, 141.9, only ahead of TRT's Cliffy, who's of course in the medium tyres. And Bando Biz has just had another run taken off him, which already happened on his first attempt. Bando Biz, the only driver to score points for TRT last time out in Bahrain. Unfortunately for him, a fairly low point scoring finish as well. And, given that he's already retired from the session after crashing on the exit of Pua, it's certainly not looking like a good start to this evening either for the TRT team. But it's XL Neo out in front. Of course, the on-track winner in Bahrain as he now comes into the pits with that man JT in second place. Really good opening for him in this event. M Short P3 with just over 10 minutes to go with the Iwan in fourth place. And IFR, Jojo is actually the quickest IFR driver at the moment. IFR, of course, with 2 victories to their names so far. XL and Vapor taking the wins, with VER and TRT yet to score a victory. But VER buoyed by the fact that they did manage to get themselves onto the podium last time out. Here's TRT James, who has his run and battle just as we come to him. Lecom, and that is his run. So not a good start at all for TRT. Cliffy, the only TRT driver yet to set a lap time in P14 on the mediums as well. And James here, oh, sliding and manages. Well, that's a great save. That is the save of the season right there from TRT James. Excellent stuff. It won't gain any lap time. It will gain him some style points at least, but nothing more than that. Really good save there from James. Surprised no one's playing nothing about that yet. That's a really, really good save, but the lap time was already gone. Yeah, sadly for him, it's not a moment that's going to gain you any time, really, is it, in Formula 1? He did very well to keep it out of the barriers, the same place that he lost it just a few moments ago. And he managed to keep it out of the session-ending barriers, unlike his teammate, who managed to put on a new set of tyres and potentially change the code as well after that little half spin. As Cass makes his way in towards this long hand of Rivage, which takes him down the hill into turn 10, the no-name corner. I've said this a few times when I've done commentary on Spark, but the no-name corner technically has a name because it's called the no-name corner. So, I mean, let me know if that counts as having a name. I don't think it does, but it might do. Calling it a no-name corner is giving it a name. It's a bit of a conundrum, that. As in towards Stabilo comes Kasu. Vapor at the minute yet to really put anything down apart from JT. Kasu, TDB, both yet to set lap times themselves. Askiko in the other Vapor car, 141.4 from him so far, as Kasu brings his car through Blanchimont And in now towards this final chicane at the bus stop. As he rounds the final turn, short shifted to third and spinning it and just about keeping it out of the barriers. It's not going to be a quick lap time as a result. 142.1, lower than the mediums that Cliffy is on. But at least he's not in the barrier after that particular incident. TDB then in towards Lakon for him. Had a bit of a tumultuous start to the season in the Formula PlayStation League. Had 2 podiums, 2 non-finishes, and 1 finish in the points outside of the podium. That was even then it was a bit of a sticky end. He hit another driver into turn 15 at Baku and ended up having to slow down to head in back cars. So this season 7 in the FPSL has not been an easy one for TDB. It's certainly been a very eventful one. For him, he'll be hoping it's eventful in the right sort of ways here around them from the TRT Breakout League as a VER car very sportingly moves out of his way as he comes in towards the final sector. XL Lando says it should be a great race. Lando with a good performance last time out in Bahrain. Not racing with us this evening, but hopefully for XL Lando, his team managed to bring home some good points, and well, they need it going into the last Grand Prix. 11 points behind IFR, and currently 2 drivers in the top 3. So it's looking like a good start for them so far. TDB, it's a bit more of a controlled exit out of the bus stop than it was for Kasu. I'm going to go. It's P13, 141.6, 6 tenths of a second away from XL Neo, as he's now pushed down to P14. Niklas just going ahead of him as XL Jacob goes into P1 for XL, so it's now a 1-2 for the XL team. JT pushed down to third, and it's now 3 drivers in the top 4 for XL, and the highest IFR car is Stinson at the moment in P5, which is uncharacteristic of the IFR team, as Bando Beers has yet another lap invalidated. Here comes TRT James. He's just making his way up the Kemble Straight in towards Lecom, where he had his lap time validated last time, as he gets a nice little slipstream off the XL car. And this time, can he keep all 4 wheels on the track? He certainly can. He brings his car through turn 8 in towards turn 9 of Rivage. Slight lock up on the right front. Doesn't cost him an awful lot, as he gets the car slowed down and brings it out wide in towards the no-name corner. Down the hill through towards Puon. Keeps the car in 7th gear the whole way. Oh, he spun it again! He's done so well to keep it out of the barrier for a second time as TRT James, but yet again he gets caught up on the curb on the inside and absolutely ruins his lap time. He's had his lap invalidated for putting all 4 wheels on the grass. It's another spectacular save from TRT James, but I don't think he wants to keep doing that. I think he'd much rather get a lap time on the ball. And given how long this circuit is, you get less chances of doing that. And meanwhile, throughout all of that, Asticum has gone P1 with a 140.8 for Vapor. So Vapor coming out of nowhere to take P1. VER Iwan has gone into P2. So XL have been knocked off top spot. I was too busy looking at TRT James doing a Tokyo drift for a second time to notice that Asticum had gone into the lead. So a brilliant turn of events here for Vapor and for VER. Excellent IFR, not on the front row at the moment. And well, Iwan here with a 140.8, so close to Asticum at the front. One more run expected from those guys out front. So we'll see if there's anything they can do to improve their lap times, as here comes IFR Bolin. He says it's his first time on the wheel, currently P5 for him. JT pushed down to 7th place after his early exploits. There's Jojo in P10 as well for the IFR team. So 3 IFR cars in 8th, 9th and 10th at the moment, which they'll certainly be hoping to improve upon in these last just under 4 minutes of the session so far. So if you want to get your late predictions in for pole position, that would be a good time, because there's 3 different teams in the top 3 positions so far in qualifying. So, well, Orlando said it should be a good race. It should be a good end to qualifying as well. Who knows which team's going to take pole position, but whoever does, it certainly is going to be an interesting battle here, because it's so close at the front and so many different drivers from different teams battling up there for supremacy. So who is going to take that all-important pole position ahead of the Grand Prix as Jojo makes his way in towards the final chicane through the right in 5th gear. Brings it now in towards the left-hander over the curb. Beautifully done. Slightly over the Astro. A bit more lap time. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Through the 2 right-handers of Stabilo. The second part flat out. A player crashed in an online race last summer, which was not embarrassing at all. Nobody noticed it. In towards Blanchimont. Now comes Jojo. In towards this final braking zone of the circuit. The right-hander followed by the left. It's been a really good run, and it's a good run through the bus stop chicane as well. Perfect exit too, no wheel spin whatsoever, and P1 for Jojo, 140.7. That was a stupendous run from him, and he goes and sets the fastest lap time as well. So it is now an IFR car on pole, a Vapor in second, a VER in third, and then followed by XL. So this is so tight between all of these teams. Really interesting stuff at the top. I would say all of them, but TRT are still kind of languishing down there, really. Cliffy, Casu, Cliffy, Vanoviz, TRT James down there. Cliffy still on the same lap time on the medium tyres that he set to start the session. Vanoviz and TRT James keep having their runs invalidated, and Key has crashed out of qualifying. So I say all of them. It's IFR, Vapor, VER and XL who are up there, but unfortunately for TRT, they're still right down towards the bottom of the order as we just get ready for these final runs then. So, I mean, it's so exciting here as to who's going to take pole position. It is so tight up there. I mean, just look at the lap times on the top left. You don't need to take my word for it. That's such a tight battle for pole position. So can IFR hold on to pole position? Can Vapor or VER snatch it off them? I mean, can TRT improve? Can Bando Beers and James put a lap time on the board? He can't, because he's out. He's reached his car in the barrier, so he's not going to be able to improve. But we'll see if anybody else can. It's Jacob for XL. In towards Rivage he comes in turn 9. Short shifts up to 4th gear, now through 5th, down to 4th again for the no-name corner to get a good launch down the hill. In towards these 2 left-handers of Pua. In 8th gear as well. That's a really good run there from XL Jacob, putting a lot of faith in the tyres, a lot of faith in the grip. Zui Dama has retired from the session for XL, so the best he's going to get is P11 with Bando Beers and TRT James now on outlaps. Casu is out there as well for Vapor, trying to improve on his lap. Of course, he only set a 142.1 because of a massive back end loss on the exit of the bus stop chicane. So, just wait for an improvement from at least one of those guys. And, once again, a car just going off the track to let J. Cole go by, and towards the bus stop chicane he comes, currently P5. The checkered flag has fallen on the qualifying session here as he shifts down to first, back up to second. It's a good short shift, it's a good exit for J. Cole, and it is 1.7 seconds slower than his original lap time, so clearly backed out of the lap somewhere in there, and will only get P5 at best. Oh, as a TRT car round, is that Bando Biz or is that TRT James? It's not Bando Biz, I can tell you that, and it's not TRT James, so it must be Cliffy. It's Cliffy that's gone round. There he is. He's trying to get his car back in the right direction. So Cliffy's not going to set a better lap either. A 142.0 on the mediums is the best fulfilled. That's so frustrating because he would have gone onto the soft tyres expecting to improve on his lap time. Jojo's crossed the line, so 140.735 from him. Here comes Askikum into the final chicane. His final run of the session with an IFR car not far behind him. Looking to gain some track position. That'll be holding him quite a lot, so that'll work in Vapor's favour as they seek to take pole position. But is this an improvement from Askikum in any way? As he has this final sector of the circuit in towards Blanchimont he goes. JT's crossed the line for P4 for Vapor, so no pole position for him. Through towards the bus stop chicane then comes Askikum. And is this going to be enough as he rounds the final corner? How's the exit? It's pretty good. And up towards the line for him. Is it pole? No, it's not. It's 6/10 slower than his original lap. Bolin's crossed the line. Iwan's crossed the line. M Short's gone P3, XL Neo goes P4, so XL launching up the order a little bit, but not enough for them at the moment. Here comes IFR Stinson, who's had his lap invalidated. Falks crossed the line only for P10, so not a good showing, apart from pole position for IFR. They would have expected better than that, but nevertheless, it's still P1. I say not a good showing, it's a good showing from IFR. Jojo at the front, then down to P5 for the next IFR car. So Vapor and XL getting in between that, but most importantly, it is a pole position here for the IFR team. Everybody's crossed the line, nobody's going to be improving. And Bando Biz and TRT James all the way down there. Bando Biz never put a lap together, and TRT James, who's crossed the line, it's only a 141.9. It's only quicker than his teammate Cliffy, who set his lap on the medium tyres anyway. It's another abysmal qualifying for TRT. All four of their cars right down the bottom of the order, and if they're going to add to their, well, very lowly 3 points finishes so far, it's going to take one hell of an effort. 21 wins from pole position here, which, well, bodes relatively well for IFR Jojo out front on pole position, but look how close it was. But from him to Aski come, the Vapor driver nearly snatching pole, but not quite. M Short in P3 for XL with his teammate Neo alongside him. Bolin in P5 with VR Iwan alongside him. JT in the end pushed down to 7th place. XL, J. Cole in P8 with Stinson P9. Falk takes 10th place. Zuidema in P11. Casio in 12th for Vapor. TDB in P13 for the Vapor team. And it's VR Aqua in 14th. Niklas P15. Ismail, TRT James, Cliffy in P18. Bando Biz never got a lap together, and Key crashed out of the session early on and was not able to set a lap time, which is, well, it's awful for TRT. Frankly, it's been in keeping with what has been an awful season for those teams so far. TRT James saying in the Discord, who took out the 100-meter marker board? Maybe that was why. James Bottled says TRT Arthur. So a really good vote of confidence there, James, from your teammate. Yeah, not a good qualifying for TRT. And for IFR, well, not a good showing in terms of how spread out they are in the top 10. But all four cars are in the top 10. And, of course, they have a car on pole position. But compared to previous qualifying performances, I just wonder if they would have been hoping for just a little bit better than they got. However, pole position is pole position. And that is all Jojo will be caring about out front. And they can certainly make up the numbers and make up the positions further back as well. But, of course, XL up there. Aski Kum is the furthest Vapor driver up the order ahead of qualifying. And we will see if he's able to do anything from second place on the grid, from which there have been 13 Grand Prix winners in the past at this circuit. So there's certainly nothing to say that he can't pull off a victory from second. But IFR certainly have the momentum from the last Grand Prix in Bahrain. Yeah, 2 wins, 3 podiums, and 10 points finishes going in their favour. That's also their 4th pole position in as many races, so it's been a bit of a clean out from IFR qualifying wise. They would have of course hoped for a bit more of a clear out race wise, but competition has been good from XL and from Vapor in round number 2, with Vapor Canute taking the Grand Prix victory. But nonetheless, I do rather feel, despite that victory in Japan, that Vapor again would have been hoping for better. P2 for Aski Kum, which is good, but then P7 for the next Vapor car of JT. And then Kasu and TDB both outside the top 10. However, both in the points. You get points when you finish in the top 13 in the TRT Breakout League, as opposed to just the top 10. And of course, a point for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. So tyres for this race, of course only a 22 lap race because of the fact that it's a 7-kilometre circuit. It's the longest track on the Formula 1 calendar, often with the shortest name, so we just call it Spa. This is interesting. Good fact. I mean, technically it's not true because it's Spa Francorchamps, but it's just fun saying it anyway. So, on the formation lap, interesting to see Jojo pulling out really and not allowing anybody else to close up to him. So his tyre temps will just fall a little bit on the grid. But yeah, should, you would think, be a one-stop strategy, 2 at the very most. But I rather feel as though very talented racing drivers indeed will be supposing that they can get to the end on a one-stop strategy, particularly those who are starting on the medium tyres. All of the top 10 starting on the softs because, of course, they qualified in the soft, but when you start outside the top 10, you get to choose your tyres for the Grand Prix. Zuidema, Kasu, TDB, VR Aqua, Niklas, Ismail, Cliffy, Bandoviz and Key. All starting on the medium tyres. TRT James, the only driver outside the top 10 to start on the soft tyres. The other 9 will be starting on the mediums, so expect, provided there's no first lap drama, expect some overtakes from TRT James in the opening stint. The Belgian Grand Prix, round number 4. Is underway, and how's the start from Jojo? Very good indeed. Askicom is under a bit of pressure from the XL car going into turn 1 as Neo and M-Short go side by side, and Neo manages to get ahead. M-Short still right there with him. The racing car of JT just getting pushed off the track on the exit of turn 1, but it's a brilliant start from Jojo in front of Askicom on the start of this Grand Prix. JT actually getting himself up to P5 the start of the Grand Prix, so despite just being pushed a little bit wide, he's managed to get a great start, and that's the best place for him here in front of IFR Bolin. Meanwhile, behind him is VR Iwan trying to get a little bit of a jump there on Bolin, but not quite able to get ahead of him just yet. There's a bit of an IFR sandwich with Falk right behind him, and there's Falk trying to go down the inside into Ravage. Can he pull that off? There's a lock up in front from the VR driver, which makes it that bit easier for IFR Falk to get in front of Iwan, as XL Jacob now looks quite interesting behind him. Stinson as well, all over the rear end of the Vapor driver of Kasu. But no, he's not. He's just fallen back from it, actually. So Kasu now it is, right behind Jacob. And Zuidema up there as well. And I'll tell you what, Stinson's falling down the order, so he's been involved in trouble. Some of the TRT guys all going side by side, and Cliffy losing the back end massively in the background. Just about manages to hold onto the car, but it has pushed Cliffy down to last place in this Grand Prix. The TRT comes all the way down there. VR Niklas has fallen down to P17, so it's a decent start for Bando Biz. TRT James it is now. He's fallen down to last place. He's got damage, I think. Yeah, he's lost his whole front wing. I cursed him. I was saying that provided he doesn't get involved in any first lap drama, he can maybe make some overtakes off the start, but he has been in plenty of first lap drama, and that is him having to come into the pits on lap number 1 as XL Neo pits as well. This isn't even a front wing change, it's a strategy option for him, so onto the hard tyres. So that would indicate that the XL guys feel as though they can go to the end of the Grand Prix on the hard compound tyre. J. Cole, M. Short, XL all going on to the hards. Stinson's into the pits as well, and he's on the hards. He's had to change his front wing in the pits also. TRT James has made his way into the pit box in what has turned out to be a very frustrating start for him. Started on the soft tyres to try and make up some ground, but sadly it just hasn't worked, and he's had to come in, change his front wing. This is the medium tyres on the car though, which should indicate another pit stop between now and the end. And if that was a mistake from the game, then we'll just be cursing. That safety car has now been deployed, and Jojo, any lead that he was building off the start, has just been wiped out. So Jojo then leading from Askicom. JT as a result of the pit stops and also the first lap drama is up to 3rd place, so it's a good start for Vapor, a good start for IFR as well. They now have 3 cars up there in the top 5 with Jojo, Bolin and Falk all running up the order. VR Iwan in P6, Kasu going to P7, so a good start for him as well. Zuidema is now the highest XL car up the order in P8 because of the pit stops that happened with his teammates. VR Aqua in P9, Ismail in P10, Bando Beers up to P11 because of these stops. Niklas in P12, P in P13, rounding up the current points paying positions, but that's because XL Neo, M Short, J Cole, TDB, Cliffy, TRT James have all come into the pits. TRT James was already last, so the safety car really has saved TRT James there because he would have lost so much ground because of that front wing. He was frustrated make the most of those soft tyres. Into the pits then comes Jojo, which promotes JT into the lead. Asticom now pits as well. This is late, isn't it? This is going to cost them it's going to cost them track position to the ones who've already pitted. There is Jojo. JT, of course, in P1. Is he going to rejoin in front of the likes of M-Short? No, he's not. M-Short and Neo are both in front. So why Jojo waited another lap? Because I think he had the window to come in. Unless he didn't. Unless the safety car was deployed after he crossed the start-finish line. He's probably just realised that everybody else is going to be right behind him on a one-stop. Or rather, not having to make any more pit stops here, I should say. And he'll be there having to make another stop. And he won't even have fresh tyres to make the most of. So it makes sense, I guess, then to pit. Safety car was probably deployed at exactly the wrong moment, rather than him taking the late decision to pit. If it would have been his decision to stay out originally, I think he would have decided. Well, yeah, I think he would have decided to come in. But if it was his decision to stay out, which I don't think it was, then obviously, as Alpha just said, that was stupid about IFR. But I honestly, I think he was already past the pitch by the time the safety car was deployed. So obviously the reason he's had to respond to those pits that have come in is obviously because the guys who have just switched on the hard tyres are now having to go to the end, or they're going to try to go to the end. Jojo, potentially that's just a flinch. It might just be a flinch from him, because that now means that he, obviously that pit stop means that he doesn't have to stop again either. If he had have stayed out, well, that would have meant that he would have had to make another stop compared to no more stops for the guys behind. But then what you have to consider is that those who have pitted on lap 1 onto the hard tyres, there's no guarantee whatsoever that those guys can make it to the end of the Grand Prix on the hard tyres. So Jojo might just have flinched for no reason, and JT and Iwan might have just made the perfect call to stay out, as well as Kasu, Suidema, Aqua, Ismail, Bandoviz, Niklas and Key. And the fact that those guys have all stayed out, I think it's a suggestion that they don't believe the hards can go to the end, and Jojo might just have, as I say, and Asticom for that matter as well, they might just have been baited into a pit stop, essentially. They might just have flinched for no reason there. Hope for them that that works out. Yeah, it's a bit of a conundrum that, in terms of this is going to be a massive race strategically now, as to who's right. Who's got the right idea? Has JT got the right idea in terms of strategy? Away he goes. It's a good restart from him. Trying to get away from Iwan. And Iwan has Kasu quite close behind him. Behind. Bando Biz getting involved. There's the two VER cars of Aqua and Ismail. As Ismail has a look at passing Aqua into that source into turn 1. But thinks better of it on that occasion. Bando Biz with the pressure from Niklas as well. He right behind him. One of these guys up towards and Radion, and then through towards the Kemmel straight. Good run that from Bando Biz. A little bit wide goes Ismail. Get chance now surely for Bando Biz as we go on board with him. Looking back out towards Niklas, but no, he hasn't quite got the overspeed in towards Lekam. He's got a lot of confidence under braking, but Ismail in front is able to stay in front. JT has very nearly as well broken the 1 second DRS window. Back to Iwan, slightly wide goes Ismail, just about gets away with it. Bando Biz not quite able to take advantage of that into Rivages, just a bit too tight through there to make an overtake stick, unless the guy in front really does make an error. Wide goes Bando Biz this time. Is that going to be a chance for Niklas? No, because finding chicane isn't really an opportunity. Key is right behind that as well. There's a lock up from Bando Biz, which does him no more favours, compromises the second part as TDB picks up a penalty now for Vapor. The first penalty of the session so far. Through these two corners of Stamino they come, with Bando Biz now under more pressure from Niklas than he was putting on Ismail at the start of the lap. Iwan just about hanging on to half a second now actually to JT, so it's been a pretty good second part of the lap for Iwan, considering that he was almost out of DRS range. DRS gets enabled on the next time. Past the start-finish line as Iwan centre passes that one, 45 points. So really clawed it back, didn't he, in those last couple of sectors, to now set the fastest of the Grand Prix and be so close to JT in front of Kasu on the medium tyres. just over a second back. Aqua right behind Zui Dema in the XL car. That was a run. No DRS here, of course, so that's a great run though, isn't it? So I don't think he'll need DRS here. He might get rid of slipstream and get past him on the run towards Lake Up. Here comes Aqua. He might have to be a late move on the braking, but can he put it off? No, he's going to think better of it. He's not going to go for the overtake just yet. He will wait for DRS to be enabled next time round before he goes for the overtake. So Zui Dema survives for now and holds on to 4th position. Banoviz once again putting pressure on Ismail. Once again, Ismail runs slightly wide through Ravage. Once again, there's nothing really that Banoviz can do about it. Still relatively heavy fuel, and also just the fact that Ravage is such a difficult corner in terms of the exit. It's so tight. Oh, Banoviz has spun! Has he held it together? Yes, he has, but he's going to lose all sorts of positions. He's done exactly what TRT James did on multiple occasions in qualifying. He's got caught up on the curb on the inside, and that's pushed him out of podium contention now, all the way down to P13. Key has just been passed, made well by Jojo. So Jojo trying to make his way back up the order. Now up to 8th place here in Bahrain. The issue in Bahrain was actually that IFR pitted too early. That was what cost them initially the race win before they got it through penalties. I think the issue this time might have been that Jojo pitted too late. However, this is certainly not over yet. So we'll see if he can now make his way back up the order. Just in front of Key, now chasing Nicholas. What did happen to Bolin? It's a good question. I wasn't looking, so I don't know. But yeah, something happened to Bolin. This is his first time on a win, as I mentioned. Now down in P20, having made a pit stop with TRT James in front of him. TDB down in P17 for Vapor with that penalty as well. As he's come since his pit stop, hasn't really made that much progress. He is now in front of Banoviz after the TRT driver's mistake. He's got DRS here on M short in front of the XL car. In front of him, we've got XL Neo having a look at Key, and he's going down the inside of him, but he's actually went a little too early, if anything. Now they're side by side to the second part of their gun. He should hold on to the inside here, pushes Key off the track. Key's still there, and he's down the inside into Rivage, but in the end he has to back out, has to let the XL driver go, and that's P9 for Neo, and P10 for Key in the TRT car. A good battle there, puts in between those two, and in the end some nice fair wheel-to-wheel racing. XL Neo makes his way up to the 3rd position. Iwan up front, Iwan still just under a second behind JT, but JT's doing well here to keep the gap consistent and keep it at a fairly manageable level. Back to the VER driver. So far, hasn't he had much of an opportunity to get past the Vapor car yet. And these two, you would think now going for the one stop, going a little bit longer on these soft tyres before fitting a set of hards on. And if they're really feeling brave, potentially mediums after that, or instead of that, I should say. But we will see. Kasu is now within a second as well of Iwan, so it's a bit of a Vapor sandwich, which would certainly do Iwan no favours if he got caught up in that one. Up towards Arij, fairly level in terms of the gap. Top 3. Up in towards Radion. That's a really good run. From JT, not from Iwan either. Now with DRS, he will close up by a few tenths up here, but as you can see, really anywhere near close enough to the move on JT. As the head of the braking zone as they car. 4/10 of a second of the leader before JT will use this middle sector to try and escape again. Ismail then still behind his teammate Aqua, with Nicholas now behind them, but for how much longer? Oh, Jojo's got a penalty by the way, so Jojo's making his way back up the order after his pit stop, but he has now picked a penalty somewhere. So him and TDB now both have penalties, which is very costly indeed with how close qualifying was and how close this race is turning out to be as well. So that really could make a big difference come the end of this race. As Stinson as well, so that's 2 IFR cars now with penalties. Stinson well up for exceeding track limits. Jojo 8 second behind Nicholas. 30 yeah, which is costing him a little bit of time. Out front then, Iwan up a second behind JT, so just a little bit closer here than he was at this point on the last lap. Is he going to have a chance? JT pits and Iwan pits with him. Right, so Iwan decides not to go for the overcut. This now releases Kasu into the lead of the Grand Prix as we follow JT into the pits for the Vapor team. So shots on at the moment. This is going to be hard, or is it going to take a gamble on the medium compound tyres, I wonder? It's going to be, it is mediums, yeah it is. So he's going to try and take those mediums 15 laps to the end, which is very doable because he's just taken stops right up towards lap 8. So it should be doable for him. Iwan P19. There's now JT joined here alongside TRT James, who gets past him going into Eau Rouge. But now on the exit of Radion, JT's going to have the slipstream, going to have DRS as well. JT surely can't fight this one. And in fact, no one's going to have DRS on the run down towards Les Cambes, but it doesn't matter. JT with the superior grip, the superior exit up through Eau Rouge and Radion, and manages to get himself past TRT James up to P17. That's good for him because he couldn't afford to get stuck behind TRT James for too long at all. He's got his teammate TDB up ahead of him as well, so that should be pretty easy for him to get ahead of him. TDB shouldn't cause him too many issues at all in terms of getting past. Cassie now, we'll see how long he can go. He'll likely pit onto the... well, he might go onto the softs, but it depends how long he can take those mediums. If JT's going to take his set of mediums to the end, then Kasu, you would think, shouldn't have too many issues taking his set of mediums long enough to potentially get to the softs in the end. So there's going to be a bit of a toss-up in terms of strategies here. And I think it's going to cost... oh, it's very wide goes the car in front. TDB going wide in front of JT. Costing Jojo the win at this point, isn't it? So that late pit stop for him after the safety car has really done Jojo over. And it's doing a good job for Vapor and for XL and for VER for that matter as well. TDB then on the exit of the bus stop okay, as he gets closed on. Oh, it's a spin for TRT James. James is round for the TRT team. It gets worse for him as Iwan says thank you very much, I'll have that position. And it's up to P18 for him, down to 19th for James, although Iwan, oh that's what happened. So Iwan got past him, but because of the yellow flags, he was told to let him go again. So that sucks for him. But James here, I think is he doing it? No, he's not. I thought he was going to let him pass, but he's not going to be fair, he doesn't really have to, because here comes Iwan now, as TDB gets passed by his teammate JT, as we all thought was going to happen. Here comes Iwan, sailing past TRT James. This overtake will count. He won't have to give this position back. He's now P18 for VER Iwan. James does now get forced down to 19th place, run slightly wide as well on the exit of turn 8. Ashley coming to go back up after his pit stop under the safety car. But yeah, so far not really working up too well for him. P10 right now stuck behind M with Bando Biz right behind as well. M short pitted just a lap before Ashley coming in a second down to here. Drivers, yeah, 3 drivers now on penalty, with Trout getting one as well. Here comes Askikov. Short. Oh, he thought about the move and the braking. In the end, had to think better of it because M Short had Key right in front of him, and he certainly would have barraged in the back of Key had he gone for the move with M Short. And the Viz is right behind him as well. So this is going to be pretty close here between these drivers. Who? I can't really tell when this is because it's so tight. It's pretty much casting really when you look at the gaps. Meanwhile, in front of them, M Short really close now to keep here down towards Les Cambes. But he has laid ahead of him. And is now into P8. His teammate Neo. The next car up. Askikov now is going to be the next car to try and have a look at passing Key. And recovery, we need to hope that it's a pretty quick affair in getting past the TRT driver. He's going to line up all the medium tyres, so he's got to feel those a little bit now. We're still going to see if some of the runners who went early onto the hard tyres are going to be able to make those tyres go to the end. And we'll get to the point where the likes of Casio and Zui Denny will pit and Aqua behind Niklas here. So if Jojo can keep this pace up, and Kasu and Belgium front aren't really showing in terms of pitting here, maybe Jojo hasn't been confident enough. He slides down the inside here of VR. Niklas now tries to go around the outside of the second part of the bus stop, gets pushed wide, and now here comes XL Neo. They get past both of them, wide down towards La Source. Outside. Oh, Jojo on the outside manages to get past them. Brilliant racing there between those three. Neo taking full of get to both Jojo and Niklas on the exit of La Source. And well, it might be shaken up again here because Neo's under pressure. Jojo goes to the with Jojo, and he got on the curb and he spun the car around, and after the pushing and shoving that was going on between himself and Neo, that was inevitable, and eventually Niklas falling down to P16 for the VER team. So all of that racing later, and it's resulted in a VER car going round and falling now outside of the points position. So Jojo's still behind Neo, only by 0.3 of a second though. And then of course we've got Ismail, Aqua, Tuidema and Kasu. And that gap is just getting so much smaller. It's just such a shorter gap now than it was. Yeah, I thought it was going to cost him, but I think the issue is, I think the medium runs in front have waited too long. I think they've waited too long to put in the pits, unless of course the likes of Kasu, Tuidema and Ismail. As into the pits now comes Aqua. I think they believe that Jojo and everybody else on the hards under the safety car is going to have to stop again anyway, because they still have another 11 laps to go. And I think their theory that even if they don't stop again, they're going to either have such bad and slow tyres that they'll just lose positions anyway, or that they'll get a puncture and then they'll be forced into a pit stop either way. So there is a difference of opinion as to whether the hards can make it, and those who have committed to not pitting under the safety car really feel as though, well, they're not going to make those hards go anyway, so why do we have to worry about it? Maybe they don't, but we'll see if they do, as Neo right behind Ismail, and he's got Jojo right behind him as well. And well, the last time a VER, XL and IFR car got together, it was pretty interesting, and it all resulted, unfortunately, for Niklas and him spinning around and just going to pits as well to put on a set of the soft tyres, and is in P19 with Lando Biz. Last of the runners just behind him, IFR Bolin is 18th, 7 pop set to stop again, and again will have to be the answer later on. I don't think he will make those go to the elevator, so not been a good evening for him, unfortunately. As in towards Blanchard we go, with Jojo pressuring Neo. Neo still right behind Ismail. Does Jojo go for another banzai move into the bus stop chicane and the braking? No, he doesn't. He gets a bit later and gets a bit closer. Is into the pits. Comes Ismail, so that now leaves Neo all on his own. Safety cars deployed because TRT James is out of the race. There he is. So he's put his car in the barrier, and TRT James couldn't stop spinning the car in qualifying, and he's now spun the car into the barrier and out of the race. It couldn't really get much worse for TRT before tonight, but it has. He's out of the race, it's TRT James. Bando Biz down in P19, maybe not faring that much better in P14, but these pit stops out of the safety car could well promote Clippy up towards the points. 14 now P30, there's Niklas behind, so Niklas pitted at a decent time, so he's on fresh tyres now towards the end. So those strategy questions have been answered now, because this safety car is going to bring everyone else into the pits, and so everyone's going to be on fresh tyres. The problem is Kasu going to have a free stop, because the safety car was deployed after he'd crossed the start-finish line. The same goes for Jojo. Zooey Damer has pitted. So, yeah. So the top 6 had gone past the pits by the time the safety car was deployed, I believe. Zooey Damer, unless Zooey Damer pitted anyway, I think, yeah, him, Ismail Aqua, I think they did. They all pitted anyway, regardless of the safety car. So they pitted before the safety car came out, actually. So, as a result, I think, have they lost too much time? I don't think so. If you look at the gaps again, I don't think they have. So I think Zooey Damer is leading this race, I believe, because the top 6 will have to pit now. They don't have a choice, because otherwise they'll just get eaten up. On the safety car restart, they'll lose so much. And even if they then pit after the safety car restart, they'll just be put back down to the back of the order. So Cassidy has to pit, Neo has to pit, Jojo, Neo stays out, right? So yeah, because he's on the hards, isn't he? That he pitted onto earlier. So they are, well, they have to now. That was the choice right there. It was either come into the pits then and there, or commit. So because of this safety car, it's forced these top guys now into a very tough decision, and they have to commit to this now. They can't back out of this. They have to go to the end, otherwise they're going to be at the back. So I think that decision, now that they've not made it themselves, it's made for them. I mean, they had a decision just there whether they wanted to come into the pits or not. They both said no. And so, whether they like it or not, they are now committed to taking these old, hard tyres right to the end of the Grand Prix, which a few laps ago would have made a lot of sense because of the gaps, but the safety car neutralises all of these gaps, so the guys that have just pitted are now on fresh tyres, so it made sense to try and go to the end before. It doesn't make any sense anymore because they're right behind them. So, strategically, I don't see the point in staying out, but now that they have stayed out, they've committed to this decision. They can't back out of it now, otherwise they won't be scoring any points this evening. That's a decision that, to me, and I guess you guys in the comments agree as well, by the looks of it, that doesn't make any sense to me. I think that's a mistake. It was a long shot to try and go to the end on hards, and this safety car, I think, was the chance to change that and to get a free pit stop. Yes, they'll lose a couple of places, but it was a chance to come into the pits and give themselves a real chance of winning this Grand Prix. But not only are the guys now, those drivers on fresh rubber, not only are they right behind them, but they're going to have to take these tyres to the end whilst racing extremely hard, and that's just going to wear them out even more. As I say, before the safety car, it made sense to try to take these tyres right the way to the finish. But as I say, this safety car came out. Everybody else got a free pit stop. So I don't know why. I don't know why they've done that. I really don't. It was a smart decision by Kasu, because look at him. He's now P5 and he's probably on for a podium at this point, Kasu. So he made the right decision. He made the smart move, I think. I don't understand why Neo and Jojo have stayed out on these old tyres. Having seen this safety car come out, yeah, I mean, I can't understand that. Sorry, but anyway, they can't back out of it now. If they can make them go to the end and win the race, I'll shut up. But I don't think they can. Neo then, back underway in Belgium. Slightly overshoots the bus stop actually, so that wasn't the perfect restart, but he is back underway. And we are racing again here in Belgium. Bit of a back-end loss in the background as well. For Zooey Damer as Kasu gets past JT on the run in towards turn 1. So it's a brilliant restart from Kasu up to P4 already. Nice aggressive restart from him, but he makes a little bit of contact with the back of M Short's car as he chases down this podium. So already the race unravelling for M Short as he suffers the consequences of those hard tyres that he's decided to stay out on. Kasu here might well be on for a victory. He might be on for a podium immediately here as he goes down the inside into Lake Calm. Is this going to work? Yes, it is, because look at him short. He has no grip whatsoever. He can fight it. It makes no sense at all to stay out. Those tyres are not doing anything for him. They surely won't make it to the end. He should have pitted under the safety car, you would think. And these two guys in front, Jojo and Neo, now are going to be in big trouble because there's absolutely nothing they can do against Kasu, who here could well be on for a victory. Vapor's second win of the season. And this is a huge moment in this Grand Prix. Can Kasu make these overtakes stick? Can Neo and Jojo make the tyres go to the end and keep on in their positions? But look how much they're sliding all over the place. There's no way they can make those tyres last. They might have done, if not for the safety car. But now, these drivers on fresh rubber right behind them are going to eat them alive. And I think they were going to struggle to score points if they pitted the last lap. But they might struggle to score points anyway by staying out. They're going to lose so much time as JT is right behind M Short in towards the bus stop chicane. Then Kasu all over the back of Jojo. It's got so much more grip. He locks up a little bit going into the bus stop, and that's actually cost him a little bit of time as JT has a little look at passing M Short. Does he go for it into that source? No, he doesn't. Thinks better of it, but he might well have a chance up the hill. Around the down the Kemmel straight. Look out for Billy Damer as well, who is right behind Ismail. This is those fighting around here. Then we are Aqua and Falcon, and Aski come rounding up the top 10 for Vapor. His race hasn't really been saved either by the big cars. Here comes Ismail. Bando Biz is retired from the session. JT still having a look at M Short as well. Not able to. Right, that's surprising. And Cassie wasn't able to get past Jojo either. Virtual safety car deployed because of Bando Beers' retirement. That's 2 TRT cars out of the session. And Key and Cliffy now the only 2 cars left in the Grand Prix. They are 11th and 12th, so just about hanging on to the point positions. But how much longer you have to wonder. Well, this virtual safety car is going to do Neo and Jojo a couple of favours because it just means that they have more time to look after the tyres, and of course the more time they spend in the yellow flag conditions, the less time there is for these quicker cars behind to get past, the less opportunities they have to get past them. So still help them a little bit, but they're still sitting ducks, aren't they? Still can't get the logic behind staying out. However, I've got to say, I'll put a sock in it if they can actually make these tyres go to the end and finish where they are as well. I'm not sure. I don't know. But, oh, that's a good restart, though, from Jojo, isn't it? In towards the bus stop chicane. Neo's under pressure. Jojo's down the inside. And he's into the lead. Look at Kasu as well. Kasu sweeping in there for Vapor. Cuts back underneath. Really good bit of racing there from Kasu as he gets alongside Neo. And now tries to go outside into La Source. Can he pull it off? Yes, he can. It's P2 for Kasu. And surely here, he's going to take Vapor's second win. After the Breakout League event, up towards Eau Rouge they come. Kasu here is going to have DRS because it was only a virtual safety car and not a full one. And Jojo is going to be a sitting duck for sure. 16 goes Kasu with DRS open as well. He's closing up on the IFR car. Going to the outside. Is he taking the lead? Jojo defends it as bravely as he possibly can, but he can't do it forever. Round the outside goes Kasu. It's a brilliant move for the lead. Kasu leads the Belgian Grand Prix. That's a fantastic pass on IFR Jojo. And it's Kasu for Vapor who leads the Belgian Grand Prix on lap 17. An excellent overtaking manoeuvre on Jojo. Yes, he was on dead tyres, but yes, it was a key move in this Grand Prix, and Kasu showed all the bottle in the world to make it stick. He leads and Vapor lead, and JT and the other Vapor is still really struggling to get ahead of the XL cars. So whilst Kasu's made his fresh tyres work, JT I should say, is still really struggling to do so. And on the exit they go then of the Stabilo corners. JT so close now behind M Short, and this is surely going to be a move into the bus stop chicane if he wants to have a chance of finishing on the podium. And he's still got Ismail right behind him. JT into the bus stop chicane. Does he go for it? No, he doesn't, because M Short braking with a very good. Very good for the late braking, considering he's on old tyres. And look at Ismail now. Ismail right behind JT, looking for the move. JT feels he needs to go defensive. Ismail tries to go around the outside. Bit of contact between those two. Wide goes Ismail. That's a chance now for Dewey Damer, surely. Yes, it is. They're going to be side by side. Dare they try and do this in towards a rouge? No, they don't. Dewey Damer thinks better of it. But surely he's going to have the chance to slingshot exit out of Radion down the Kemmel straight. DRS open right behind the VR driver. Is he going to have the run behind them? Falcon's trying to pass Aqua. And Falk tries to go round the outside. There's so much to try and keep track of. Falk isn't quite able to get ahead, but Zuidema somehow couldn't get ahead of Ismail, despite the fact that he had him at his mercy going into Lecom, but couldn't get the move done. Falk as well. Bounce down the inside on Aqua. Aqua's defending into turn 10. Surely someone's been in. Oh no, they don't. It's nice clean racing. And now they're side by side going into Puon. And can he go round the outside here, Falk? This is a brilliant bit of racing. How are they still side by side? How is he still going? He's hung round the outside. He's now down the inside. Oh, that's a world-class move from Falk. Brilliant stuff from him. Absolutely astonishing racing there from IFR Falk. Somehow managed to hang it round the outside, not once but twice, and in the end made the move stick on VER Aqua. That's excellent stuff. Aqua, fair play to him as well. Did well to give him enough space, to give him enough respect as well. But in the end, he gets the move done as Clippy as well, gets past Key. And this is crazy down here because Stinson now trying to get past Key as well. This is 3 wide because Iwan is also in there. And Iwan cuts back underneath Stinson. And he's got his teammate Nicholas right behind him as well. Stinson not under any pressure now from... oh, maybe he is because down the inside. Oh, that's a huge move down the inside from Iwan. Has he made it stick? Yes, he has. What a pass that is. Incredible stuff from Iwan. It was late on the brakes. Oh, and now side by side with Nicholas. That's another incredible move, but he's off the track. Oh, surely Nicholas has to give that one up. He can't stay ahead there. He's gone right the way off the track, having made the move stick for Rouge. Meanwhile, here comes TDB getting involved as well in this battle. Oh, there's a spin for Stinson. So Stinson was passed brilliantly, not once but twice by VER cars. He's now been passed by TDB, and now he's spun onto the grass and he's sent all the way back down to P18. Well, initially, that was a great move by Nicholas, but he went off the track as a result of doing so. In the end, it didn't matter because Stinson ends up spinning anyway. So I don't think Nicholas will be in any trouble for that in the end. That was some incredible racing. First of all, the pass by Iwan, and then the pass by Nicholas, and then Stinson adds to his own misery by hard spinning the car as Zuidema has now been passed by Falk. So having been trying so hard to pass Ismail, he's now been passed by the IFR car. He's got Aski come right behind him here. Aski comes going to put him under a lot of pressure going into the bus stop chicane as Blue Broad Shimon they come. You can see how the vapor driver is. Is he going to go down the inside? Well, he might try and go to the outside. He does go down the inside. Oh, that's going to be contact. No, it's not. Yes, it is. As he now tries to go around the outside. They're still making contact. He just about gets past him. But he thought twice about the move. Then he has to think again because he almost barged into the back of the IFR car. Now down the inside goes Aqua. Has he made it stick? No, he hasn't. Look at behind him, it's Clippy as well, who tries to cut back underneath. Couldn't quite make it happen. Iwan and Key going side by side as well. Iwan getting ahead of the TRT driver. Clippy up to P11. Now trying to take P10 away here from Aqua. Aqua's trying to take P9 away from Zuidema. Behind them, well, Key's going side by side with everyone. Iwan is now the driver trying to get past him. And, Clippy up to P10 then. Aqua behind him. Zuidema now the next target for Clippy, who's making a brilliant recovery in this Grand Prix. Jojo, meanwhile, still within a second somehow of Cassie. So I'll tell you what, Jojo and Neil did so well to still be in the podium places. JT, but luckily for him, he's got a penalty. And, who's just gone off there? I think that's Aqua. Aqua's just spun off into the wall. So the VER driver, he's been involved in so much action these last few corners. And he's now spun out into the barrier. So his chances of scoring any points are gone. That's such a shame for him because he's given us so much entertainment over the course of the last lap. As TDB now involved in a massive battle. He's been passed by Jacob. He's now got IFR Bolin right behind him. Bolin potentially can sniff a chance at some points, but it's going to be quite difficult from here on lap 20 and 22 as here comes TDB coming back at J. Cole and passing J. Cole as now through a bunch of on they go with Bolin right behind both of them, and Bolin might try and go down the inside of them both into the bus stop chicane. No, he doesn't. Round the outside goes Zuidema. That's a brilliant move from J. Cole, I should say, in the XL car as TDB loses the back end, and IFR Bowling gets past him, and now J. Cole's under pressure from IFR Bowling, who can't quite get ahead just yet. In fact, it's a massive lockup into La Source from the IFR driver, and can he get the run down towards Lecom, down the Kemmel Straight? That remains to be seen. We got yellow flags because VR Aqua has retired from the session after that spin that he had just a few moments ago. As here comes IFR Bowling, the J. Cole here surely has nothing to fight with as they come down towards Lecom, and he does indeed get past IFR Bowling, and is now just one position outside the points, with P up next for him to try and get past. What a brilliant last few laps of racing we've had here. His Cliffy MP10s trying to pass Zumi Dema, meanwhile in front of them. Falk is just half a second behind Ismail. And it's all going, everyone's within a second of each other. Been some excellent racing since the second safety car. You can say these racing isn't exciting after tonight. Goodness me, what a race we've had. And meanwhile, Kasu, well, I'll tell you what, this is close. I mean, Jojo's got a penalty, so Kasu doesn't really have to beat him on track. He just has to finish within 3 seconds. But I think I'm about to eat hat, because Jojo, I didn't think was going to make it near the end without falling down the order or getting a puncture or having to make a pit stop. But he's here, and he's now right behind Kasu. And Kasu, who took the lead a few laps ago, is under serious pressure from Jojo. All he really has to do is not get a penalty. I think that's the key as we go of the the Belgian Grand Prix, I should say. But Jojo is sticking with him brilliantly. He's going to lose third. Will he lose? Well, at the minute, he won't lose out on the podium because he's far enough ahead. But look at this. He's got DRS. He's trying to go past Kasu. He has got past Kasu. And Jojo, remarkably, on track on the last lap, has taken the lead in Belgium. But barring anything bad for Kasu, lap he won't have because he's got this penalty looming over his head. As meanwhile, Keys just lost a position. Oh, to Nicholas, who's got past him. IFR Bowling in there as well. Bowling trying to take the final points of the Grand Prix. Can't do it just yet. Bit of a lock up there from Key. And Nicholas in front of him with Iwan there as well. So VR with a couple of cars up to the points with Ismail up there as well. In 6th place. The highest PER car, the highest IFR car is in P1 at the moment with Jojo as he comes through the 2 corners of Stabilo. But it's not going to matter. He is a second in front of Kasu. So if he would have passed him on the last lap, you never know how nail-biting this finish could potentially have been. But it's not going to matter because Jojo here, whilst he is about to take the win on track, Kasu will take the win on the timing screens. We hate races to be decided by penalties. This has been such an impressive effort from Jojo to come back on those hard tyres and win. He crosses the line to win in Belgium, but it's Kasu with the penalties who wins the Belgian Grand Prix. XL Neo takes second with Jojo's penalties. M Short up to 4th. Aski come P5. Ismail in 6th place. JT in P7 because of his penalties. Zui Dema in the end takes 8th place. Crazy race here. E1 P9, Falcon 10th, Cliffy 11th, Nicholas in P12. Key just about holds on from IFR Bowling to take the final points of the Grand Prix. But it's Kasu who pitted on to a fresh set of soft tyres towards the end under the last safety car. He passed IFR Jojo, and whilst Jojo got him back at the end, it was Jojo's earlier penalty in the Grand Prix that ultimately cost him the win. And it is Kasu who takes the win for the first time in the TRT Breakout League, and it's Vapor who take their second win of the event. Well, this race was brought to you with a lot of attempt. It was also brought to you by Rogue Energy, the world's most delicious gaming drinks. From mango to fruit punch, blue raspberry, and many more. Visit rogueenergydrinks.com to get yours today and use the special discount code TRT21, and you'll get your TRT discount on any Rogue Energy drinks. That is a remarkable race that we've just seen in Belgium, and definitely well, it's worth its weight in gold for Kasu, that's for sure. What a victory that was from him. XL Neo takes P2 for XL, and well, Jojo, without that penalty, would have won on the hard tyres. I think, well, I'm going to have to shut up, really, aren't I? They somehow made it to go to the end. I didn't think they would. It was a great effort from those two. I'm sure takes P4 for XL. He also managed to make his tyres go to the end of the Grand Prix. In front of Aski come Ismail P6, JT P7 after his penalties finished P4 on track. Zuidema 8th, Iwan in 9th, Falcon P10, Cliffy 11th, Niklas 12th, Key in P13. Then it's Bolin, J. Cole, TDB, Stinson, Aqua, and then Bando Beers and TRT James both crashing out of the session in what was a torrid evening once again for TRT, but they did manage to just about squeeze 2 cars into the points. IFR Bolin misses out, and IFR car, his teammate Jojo, managed to well, get himself on the podium, but what could have been a penalty. It's Vapor then who takes the second victory of the event. Cell closing the gap ever so slightly on IFR as we head to the very last round in Brazil next Thursday night. Join us then. For now, good night.